Hello. I am currently eating a candy, and welcome to One and a Half Asians. I am Derek,
And I'm Alan.
and this is the podcast where we talk about everything from pop culture to politics. But today, we're going to be talking about a very specific moment in pop culture history.
It's called Halloween. The movie, not the event.
Although we're eating candy right now, so
Yeah,
that kind of
so we're
is
kind of in the
celebrating.
And we're getting drunk.
Yeah.
So we watched Halloween 2018, the new... It's not a remake, I guess it's a reboot.
Sorry, excuse me. We watched the world premiere.
Yeah.
We were the first audience to watch Halloween at TIFF.
Yeah. Toronto International Film Festival. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
I think we need to start from the beginning. So, in attendance at this special screening was JLC, the goddess herself, Jamie Lee Curtis, aka Jamie. Somebody called her Jamie. We're like Jamie something.
Where's Jamie Lee Curtis?
That's her French name.
With Judy Greer.
Who's tall and
Oh my god.
the dress?
She's like, I don't know how she has
They made her a nerd.
No, but not even that. But like, I don't know how she has not achieved. I mean, everyone knows her.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know who she is, she's like literally the best friend next door.
Mom.
In all the romantic comedies that you watch, like Made in Manhattan. She was
13 and Going on
Fern
30.
Mayo in
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker. But yeah, so
She's like the... Oh, you know who she's like? She is the female equivalent to the guy who won the Oscar last Oscars, the supporting actor, and he was in the Three Billboards movie. Sam...
Oh, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, right? Like
No,
she...
I think Judy Greer's star power is a little bit bigger.
I don't know, because we asked someone last night, and we were like 4 movies deep.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah, we were like, what about this movie? No. What about this movie?
Oh my god.
No.
Okay, well, their gay card needs to get revoked.
Agreed.
So anyways, yeah, and then Danny McBride was there. He's one of the writers.
I ran into him in the bathroom.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Literally, when Derek was like saying that, I was like, oh, really? I gotta go pee right now.
Yeah. No, actually, you were like, did you see his penis? And I was like, no.
Come on, like, you got...
That's fair. No, that's a fair question. I didn't see his penis. Yeah, because we are respectful of other people's personal space when we're at urinals.
I don't know what her name is. I should look it up. But, like, she played, like, Laurie Strode's granddaughter. She was in it.
Who good?
Jason Blum of Blumhouse Pictures was there. Like, the guy who owns Blumhouse. That makes, like, you know, your favorite horror movies of today. Yeah, it was just a star-studded attendance.
The director also was there, obviously.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
David
Gordon Green?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's done mainly comedies, and that's why it was a real surprise when he got picked as the director. And apparently it was all based on this pitch from him and Danny McBride, who are like comedic actor, writer, and a comedic director. I guess it's the same thing with Jordan Peele. When Jordan Peele's like, I'm going to make a horror movie, and everyone's just like, okay.
And then he did Get Out, and
it was brilliant.
Everyone's like, fuck. Speaking of him, did you hear how he might be doing a remake of Candyman?
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
That would be great.
Because then that also has like black undertones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like a slave.
Yeah.
He was a slave that died. But
and it took place in the projects in like...
In New York.
Was it
New York?
Chicago,
yeah. So anyway, Halloween. Let's just start off with the plot. This might be a long episode.
Oh, first of all, there are 100% spoilers.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. We'll preface that right now. This is a very spoilery. We're gonna discuss that. So if you really don't want to know anything,
Go watch the movie
on
October
12th. I think that's when it comes out.
And then listen to us the next day. So
Or
stop.
yeah, I mean, if you want to get spoiled, listen on.
That's on you, boo.
So so the plot is as I was reading more about it, this is a direct sequel to the first movie, to the very original. Because as we were watching, I was like, oh, they said like he only murdered 5 people. And
did you not know that the whole time?
What do you mean?
Did you not know this?
No, I did not read any. I didn't even want
to. Really?
No, I watched the very first trailer that they released.
And that's
but then once we got tickets and then they released like that other one, I was like, I don't want to watch anything.
Oh my god.
But then I watched it and I was like, okay. But then that's why I was like, oh, why did they put this in the trailer?
Oh.
Like that scene.
Talk about the dad? They're not the brother?
No. The scene with where he goes in the garage, grabs the hammer.
Okay.
That was in the trailer.
Yeah.
But they showed it in the... I'm like, why did they put that in the trailer?
Oh, they almost put like full sequence. They
kind of fucked up with the trailer.
Yeah, they could have gotten away with showing less because there's enough good stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's before we get ahead of ourselves.
So if any of you who don't know what the plot is, it's 40 years later to the day.
Yeah.
Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's a recluse. As Judy Greer, her daughter Karen, she's agoraphobic.
Yeah.
But we all know she's not really.
She's not.
She's literally. I think that was just a cover.
Yeah.
40 years later, these two journalists. This is all in the trailer, but anyways, two journalists are interested, and Michael's getting transferred to a different prison. Of course, Michael escapes, and the entire plot is basically him coming back to finish what he started with Laurie Strode, and Laurie is ready for him for the last 40 years.
Okay, so do you like? Okay, so we can take two approaches to this. We could either like talk about things we like, things we didn't like, because like back and forth. However, I think you kind of need to tell like what happens in the movie.
Well, this is like
explain,
like
right?
we said, we're gonna spoil the movie.
Yeah, the movie opens. You're introduced to these two podcasters, which is hilarious, who are definitely a parody of
like
Serial
and all those other.
They're these two British like podcasters who come to interview Michael, basically the day before he's getting switched to a more minimum security, and then they want to interview him on this last day. But they're so like. Here are the parts that are like questionable, but also like we need to talk about them. What?
Okay, go on.
So they go to interview Michael, and then they're like, "We brought your mask," and I'm like, "Okay, I get what you're trying to do there, but that would be like being in front of Charles Manson and like having the weapon that he used to like kill people and
he
be
didn't
like,
kill people though. Like,
oh, he didn't.
Side note.
Okay, but so whatever the equivalent of that, it's like you'd be in front of fucking another serial killer and be like, oh, here's the weapon that you use, like, but like they meant to,
So okay, one big spoiler alert: the person that lets him out is the new Dr. Loomis. I don't remember his name, but the doctor that's treating him after Loomis dies.
Right.
That's who lets him out. And then if you really think about it now, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, remember he was like, oh yeah, it's okay. Like, show him the mask. Yeah, get closer.
Oh.
If you really think about it, because he was like trying to, he's been Jason, I was going to say Jason. He's been Michael's doctor for the last like 30 years.
Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten anything out of him, right?
Right. So, well, we don't know, because I don't remember if they say how long. They just say he took over after Dr. Loomis died.
But like it's implied that he hasn't been able to get a word, anything. Remember, like throughout the movie, he's like when the granddaughter was like captured.
Yeah.
He's like, and the only way that she got the doctor to stop like doing what he was doing was, oh, he said something to me, and that's when he was like, what did he say?
Right.
So, I think that he allowed the podcasters to come. Yeah. Because they have the mask.
Yeah.
And this was going to get a rise out of him.
Interesting. Well, that makes sense. We never see what happened. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. So Michael's getting out of, he's moving facilities, and then it crashes.
The bus crashed.
But why does it crash? Do they show? I feel like that was done off screen.
It was done off screen.
Yeah.
But remember, these two tertiary characters are driving, and then they come across the bus crash with all the inmates like walking around. Like, right. It was very similar to the first Halloween,
right? Because you don't, and that's what's scary.
You
don't
know, right?
You're like, what happened?
No, but then there's a kid that's in that car, and he has a gun, and he's like, walking around trying to find out what happened, and the dad gets out of the car. Stupid decision number one, and he's like, call 911, kid. Yeah. So then he's walking around, and then remember he gets on the bus, and the doctor was like, don't shoot,
and he shoots him
because
he's scared.
So when I was watching that, I'm like, well, first I was like, they're gonna explain how this bus crashed, right?
Right.
I mean, I get like they want to keep it mysterious, but they gotta explain it. Like,
well, now it sounds like it could be that it
was the doctor orchestrated that did it. Exactly, because he was just sitting there.
Interesting. So this is like, I would say this got revealed in the third act. Like you don't know the like for the beginning part of the movie, the new Dr. Loomis is kind of just this doctor who's around. He's talking to the podcasters.
Because remember in the first one, like Dr. Loomis was just like walking around the neighborhood looking for Michael.
Right.
So he was kind of acting that way, like, oh, I have an interest in him, I have to get him. He's like, he's just with the sheriff.
Yeah.
And then in the third act, it's revealed that he's the one that released Michael.
Orchestrated the whole thing
because he wants to see Michael Chick. So there's a scene where he even puts on the mask.
That was weird.
And at that point, I was like, oh my god, is he going to be the new Michael? Which is really fucking stupid. Thank God they didn't do that.
They did that to fuck with us, though.
Yeah, of course. So, the bus crash, and then, I think, so, like, news reports come out, and obviously Laurie's watching.
And triggered.
She's like, fuck, he's out.
Yeah. So what we didn't see before this is the way they introduce Laurie is that she's super paranoid. She's been waiting for this and preparing for this for the last 40 years. So basically the day after Halloween, her life kind of got stuck in that mode. And she's been married twice. Yeah. Her daughter was taken away from her when she was 12 by social services. She's an alcoholic.
Yeah, so she's
a mess.
I was reading interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis, and she basically said the only reason she signed on was she gave them like a rule. She's like, it has to be relate to the first movie only, because in my mind, she escaped the first movie, and 2 days later she's back in class with like cut on her arm.
Right.
And like, how do you run away from that? How do you get away from that? Like, someone's trying to kill you, and it's all about trauma.
Yeah.
And how trauma reverberates. Is that the word?
Yeah.
It echoes throughout generations. Like, it affects like the daughter, the granddaughter.
Yeah.
So
that's deep.
Yeah. What you also see in the movie is that she trains her daughter. That's why she was taken away at 12, because like she trains her daughter to like defend herself, uses a gun,
fight.
How to fight.
Yeah.
And then she gets taken away at 12, and then 40 years later, her daughter's married, has her own kid, but her own kid doesn't understand why the mom wants her to stay away from the grandmother.
Well, they don't get along. Because she was taken, like even though she was trained, ostensibly, like whatever, their rift was created when she was taken away, and
because like she wasn't a mother to her. She was like, she was like a general, basically. Like, I'm gonna.
She was Mama Bear, basically, but like to the extreme.
So she lives in this like compound in the woods, which to me, I was like, really, you're gonna live in the woods when you're trying to like? I guess maybe she wanted him to stay away from like the neighborhood.
Exactly, and that's what I thought too. Is like, if he was gonna come for her, I'd rather it be in the middle of nowhere where there's no collateral damage.
But then we'll get to it, but it all has to do with the ending too, I guess.
Yeah. So Laurie has already like lived through this trauma. She's gotten ready. She's prepared for this thing. Yeah. And these fucking podcasters come to her fucking door and they're like, hey, Laurie, we think that it would be really great if you would meet and talk to Michael face to face and just like, have that moment to face
like reconcile
for their podcast, BTW. Like they wouldn't have been doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. These are two like millennial fucktards.
I love that they were like, we have $3,000, and she's like, okay.
Yeah.
But no, that was like, I wish that they kind of so they die early on in the end, and I'm assuming that's why they showed those scenes like in the trailer.
Yeah. They die soon after that.
I know, but I wish they didn't die.
Really?
I wish that they had lived like, till not till the end, but like till the third act.
Well, I think they needed to die because they were the first significant deaths in the movie. Yeah, so they were like setting up the brutality because like he like fucking he doesn't torture them, but like he does fucked up shit with like, well, because he rips a guy's jaw off, and then he uses those teeth as you see in the trailer.
Did you notice how there was a nod to how he got his suit? How he got his jumpsuit or whatever.
What part was that?
Like, obviously he killed like the mechanic, and that was like similar to the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Was it? I think
it was in the first one. Yeah.
So there was a lot of little nods to the first one. As someone was saying, this is basically like the Force Awakens Michael Myers.
I said that.
Was it you?
It was me. It was a remake, but like all the choices make sense because if you think, okay, I can defend this. I can defend this in all the ways because you have this guy who did this horrible thing 40 years ago and has been locked up in one space for 40 years and has had to relive this moment through fucking psychologists, everyone talking to him, police. He's been stuck as much as Laurie has been stuck in her moment for the last 40 years. So obviously it's sort of like a literal extension of history repeating itself. Because he's going after the girl that he left behind. He's going to go get a fucking jumpsuit. He's wearing the mask that he used to kill all these people. So he's fucking he's living his best fucking life right now. His best life.
So then, he... Does he steal the car? He does, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he kills the journalist in a very brutal scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was also to show, like, Michael's vicious.
Yeah.
Like, he is an unstoppable killer.
He's not unstoppable. He's definitely gives no fucks.
Yeah.
Because what we forgot to mention is that when the bus crash scene happens...
Oh my god,
the little boy who gets out of the car, the little boy who discovers the new Dr. Loomis and shoots him, Michael fucking chokes him the same way he choked the girl in the first scene.
Yeah.
What's her name? I forgot. Jen or Lindsay or whatever. Linda?
Yeah. I forgot her name.
I think it's Linda.
But the very first kill from the movie.
Yeah.
Aside from Judith. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. He kills him. How did you... Well,
no,
I just watched the first one right... I was smart. I was like, I'm going to watch the first one right before this one.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's so funny. Or, like, cool.
But it's not cool. But yeah, it is cool.
But it was like, when we saw it, I was just like, holy shit.
He gives no fucks.
He killed it. Well, technically, I think the kid was like a tween. He was 12.
But it was funny how...
still a kid, though.
And he was also, could have been a gay.
Yeah. He was like, I want to go to dance class. I don't want to
play football.
I don't want to go hunting. So then, Michael,
so at that point,
Halloween.
All bets are
off.
Yeah.
Michael gets back to Haddonfield and starts his spree.
Yeah.
So let's get back to like Laurie and them. Yeah. Laurie's like running around town trying to find Michael. The granddaughter is out and about.
So she sees her boyfriend making out with some bitch, and then he decides to blame her because he's a fucking male privileged asshole. And it's like, fuck you, I'm going to steal your phone and destroy your phone because I cheated on you. Go fuck yourself. So that's the first disrespect. And then she's walking home with the best friend of the boyfriend. And then the friend makes a move on her and she's like, bro. And he's like, oh, I thought that's what this was. And she's like, I just fucking broke up with your... No, that's not what this was. You were fucking walking me home. Like, she's just like, are you fucking serious, dude?
Yeah.
I don't have time for your fucking trying to jump in on your bro's opportunity.
So after, after the girlfriend breaks up, one of the other friends is babysitting an actual kid.
Oh yeah.
So this is where like the comedy part plays in, and it's so funny. So the kid that's getting babysat is
Julian. I looked him up.
He's so fucking hilarious.
Fucking funny.
He's like this little black kid, and she's like, "When are you gonna?" She's like telling the granddaughter, "Yeah, when are you coming over?" Daryl or whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot. Dave. Dave's coming, and we're gonna do some Alakazam. And then she gets off the phone, and the kid's like, fucking cutting his toenails, and he's like, "Are you really gonna come over and smoke some weed?" And she's like, "What?" So anyway, so
what's the line he says about the cutting his nails? He's just like, if I wasn't a something, I wouldn't be here
cutting my nails. I gotta rewatch this. But yeah, so the kid was like naturally funny, and it wasn't so like it didn't seem like it was scripted at all.
No, and
I think that was maybe like Danny McBride probably.
Yeah, and he wasn't even like he was just like,
yeah,
you're like this kid's a shit, but he's so cute. So you know,
the boyfriend comes over. She puts the kid to bed. Boyfriend comes over. They're making out. I forget. Mm-hmm. And then the kid starts screaming, saying, "There's someone watching, like looking over my door." She's like, "There's no one here." So she tucks him back in. He's like, "Can you just?" This is what you see in the trailer, which again, I don't know why they added it.
Yeah.
In the trailer,
it was such a good scare.
It was really scary.
Yeah.
And Michael's in the closet and starts attacking them. And it mimics... He kills the boyfriend, and it mimics the boyfriend from the original.
Yeah, he's already dead, though.
Yeah.
He gets killed off screen.
Yeah.
Because the little kid's just like... The little kid runs down the stairs, runs into the boyfriend, and he's just like, "Don't go up there, you're gonna die!" And he's like, "I gotta go." And it's just like, okay, the kid
runs out.
Yeah.
Which we never see from him again, but...
Yeah, because he's the smartest character. The smartest character... Yeah.
The black person runs away.
The smartest person in a movie is the one who you don't see in the movie because they're not dumb enough to get themselves into the middle of that shit.
How did she die again? Or did she get, like, her neck broken?
No, then they do the callback to... Because we're missing the whole cop, too. Because the cop is actually from part 2.
Yeah.
Although part 2 doesn't count.
Yeah.
So that's also a twist. But when there's a cop and he goes to the house and then he finds someone in the room, he's with Lori and someone has the blanket on them.
That's from the first movie.
Like the guy in the first one. But it's the girl. It's the girl already dead. And then he sees the other guy.
It was the guy. Oh, no, it was the girl.
No, and then he sees the guy downstairs killed like the guy. It's a remake. Yeah,
and then we cut to... So this is a scene that I really liked. They're walking through like...
a backyard.
Someone's backyard. Like someone's huge backyard.
Yeah.
The girl obviously is like pissed. Because like her friend tried to make a move.
Yeah.
So she runs away. But doesn't run far. So in this like tight like 4-minute scene, the guy's like, "Fuck, what the hell did I just do?" And then he sees like Michael. What I really liked about it was staying true to Carpenter's aesthetic and like his vision of what Michael's supposed to be. He's supposed to be like the boogeyman in the dark, in the bushes, in like the shadows, and then like floodlights, motion sensor lights were coming on and off.
Yeah.
And Michael just like getting closer and closer and closer. And then she's not far, and she just hears a scream, and she goes back and sees him like, he's like, is he disemboweled? Is that the word?
No, he puts the head on the spike of a fence.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't get over the fence.
Yeah.
That scene was... I'm glad they didn't include that one, because if they included that one, they literally would have ruined the whole movie.
No. So then this is where the third act happens, because all 3 women have now... Oh, no, wait, not all 3. So this is where the third act happens, where it's revealed that the doctor who's been treating Michael was in on it the whole time.
Yeah.
And as we've said, he's probably the one that caused the bus crash. Oh, yeah. So what happens is they see Michael and the cop, like, they're in the car. The cop basically runs him over.
Yeah.
So he's, like, down. And the cop is, like, checking for signs. Oh, no, it was the doctor, right? Yeah, so... The cop runs him over. Michael's down. The doctor goes over and says, "Oh, he's dead. I can't believe you killed him. Why did you kill him?"
Yeah.
And the cop comes and starts like, radioing in. And that's when the reveal happens that the doctor's in on it when he stabs the guy.
That's what starts the third act. Because then Michael... So then the doctor reveals that he orchestrated the whole thing, and that he wants Michael to confront Laurie because he wants to see, that thing happen and see what happens if they finally are together.
And like what's driving him to kill.
Yeah.
So at this point, he puts on the mask. The granddaughter's in the back seat, mimicking Sarah Michelle Gellar's patrol car scene in I Know What You Did Last Summer. I
had an issue with this though.
What?
So if he was so Michael was passed out in the back seat. I'm in the back seat with the granddaughter, and then the doctor is driving, and when he wakes up, he kicks the window in to bash the doctor's head in, but the girl's right beside him, but he chooses to drag the guy out of the car and then kill him outside of the car when the girl was right there. So why would his first instinct be to kill the doctor?
Maybe the doctor treated him badly. So we'll get into this.
That's fair, because we don't know what their relationship was.
So, and then that's where the girl escapes and does the stupidest... I was literally... Derek was beside me. I don't know if you heard me.
I did.
I've been like... So she fucking runs into the woods. I said it so loudly in the theater. I'm like, what are you doing? And then they're right near the compound. And that's where the final battle happens.
Yeah.
So should we talk about it?
Yeah, so basically the final confrontation is, so because Laurie's house is fortified, she has this panic room in the basement under her kitchen table, which you'll see in the trailer. So her and the daughter are held up down there, and then she hears... why does she leave the... Oh, the husband died. We totally didn't even talk about the husband.
Whatever.
Yeah, he was useless.
So the husband dies outside, and Michael gets his way in, but Laurie manages to escape and gets into the panic room. And she is like, I'm sorry, dear. I love you so much, but I prepared you for this, and I got to finish this. And that's why she leaves the panic room.
Yeah.
And a really great 10 minutes, I don't know how many.
The ending was so good.
10 minutes of her walking around her house trying to find Michael, and then the final room that she finds him in was basically like a remake of the final scene from the original, because remember she like opens the closet door, except like there was like mannequins like that she shoots that were all over the room, so she couldn't tell which one was them. And this is where I was like, why don't people turn on the fucking lights in movies?
Because that would ruin it.
I know, but I was just like, turn on the light, Laurie. You can fucking see him.
Yeah.
So, obviously, he's like pretending to be one of the mannequins. He comes, gets the upper hand, and throws Laurie off the window. Throws Laurie out the window, and there's a perfect side by side, but it's basically mimicking the original ending.
Yeah.
Of Michael lying down on the grass.
Yeah, and then
the daughter's like, Mom. And Michael looks back and realizes that someone's still in the house.
Yeah.
And then looks down and Laurie's gone. And that's when the audience went ape
lost
shit.
Their
shit. They were like, yes! Obviously, like, she's not dead.
Yeah.
But like, it was just really
so
cool.
perfect. But also that the other time that she acts like Michael is they do a recreation of the high school scene when the granddaughter is in the high school, and it's literally she's doing the same lesson.
Is she really?
Yeah,
oh my god, that's funny.
It's the exact same lesson, and then she looks out the window, and instead of Michael, it's fucking Laurie.
Yeah.
And then she looks back, and then Laurie's gone, and you're like, Dad!
I do appreciate those moments.
Yeah.
So then, so she's gone. I think Michael hears the granddaughter going in.
Yeah.
And she manages to get into the panic room before Michael comes down.
Yeah.
Michael figures out that the kitchen island is like the makeshift door to the panic room.
Yeah.
And so this is where, if you really don't want to get spoiled, this is the scene where the audience lost their shit.
Yeah.
In the Twitterverse, Reddit people were basically saying, there's one moment where the audience fucking freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
So stop this podcast now. So Michael is trying to get into the panic room, trying to destroy this island, and Judy Greer is like, I can't do this, oh my god, I can't, be quiet. I thought he took a fireplace poker, and I thought he was gonna start, like, poking them.
Yeah, same.
So, he's, like, trying to get rid of the island, right? And then Judy Greer is just, like, crying. She's like, oh my god. She sees the gun that she had as a kid, grabs it, and she's just, like, she's quivering, she's crying. And then suddenly Michael gets the door, like, the island off. And you don't see him in frame. Like, he doesn't show up. And Judy Greer is basically like, Mom, where are you? I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. Mom, help me, please. And then Michael comes into frame. And Judy's face was like, Mom, gotcha. Yeah. And, like, it went from, like, quivering, scared helplessness to, like, serious focus, and it was like such good acting.
Yeah.
To like gotcha, shoots him, and the audience just like freaked. Yeah. Like fuck. So this is where I'm like, was everything an act?
Of course
because she knew all of this.
No, it's because
like everything from the beginning was an act.
So when Laurie breaks into the daughter's house early in the movie, which we didn't talk about, there's a scene where Laurie pops out. The daughter's like hears somebody upstairs, and then she's like looking because her door's open, and then Laurie pops out from the stairs pointing a gun, and she's like, gotcha. So that was like,
okay, I didn't notice that.
So they have she's trained her that it's like, right,
that was like I don't know, I just seen so many movies, and that was like one of the fucking best scenes I've ever seen in my...
Yeah, it was good because it's
so, like I didn't even hear what Laurie was saying after,
because we're rooting, because we love Judy Greer, so it's just like, have your moment, girl. And then this was her final girl moment. And then what you're forgetting is that Laurie appears from the shadows, like Michael appeared from the shadows in the first one, and you just see her pale face, and you're like, yes, Laurie.
I didn't even hear what she says. So then they throw him in the basement. And so badass, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
These, like, she, flips the switch, and these, like, machetes come down, acting as, like, jail bars.
Yeah.
And she sets the house on fire. Michael's in the basement just staring at them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out, the house is gonna explode.
Yeah.
You don't actually see Michael burning.
No. But you did forget one part, though. Because... So obviously Laurie has her final girl moment. The daughter has her final girl moment. And then the granddaughter, before the machete gate closes on Michael, she grabs a butcher knife.
Oh yeah.
And she stabs Michael. So
because I didn't know about this. Like I said, I didn't read anything about it, and I didn't know that they reshot stuff.
Yeah.
So,
there was a test screening.
There was a couple of test screenings, and apparently they changed the ending from what you said.
Yeah.
So what I got, I was like trying to find out what it was, and I couldn't find it.
Really?
No, but someone said that the test screenings, like the original cut, had more doctor stuff in it.
Oh.
Yeah, but then they were like, no, let's take it down or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I wonder if it turned out like he was controlling Michael all along. But no, that's too much of a rewrite.
I didn't like the Doctor either.
I like that twist.
I like the twist when we think about it, but like, I think they had him in it enough that he wasn't annoying.
Yeah.
Where like I could see if he was in it more, people were just like, we don't need any more of the Doctor. So, but we also didn't know how good the movie was going to be. So
let's discuss, what we liked and we didn't like.
So yes to all the callbacks.
So let's do what we didn't like first.
I didn't like the moment. I didn't like the moment in the car where I thought Michael should have killed the granddaughter, because I thought that was the easier. He's in a back seat in a car with the girl beside him and the guy driving the car, and he kills the guy driving the car when the girl's right beside him. To me, that doesn't. There's no logic in that. There's no, and it's
and this is where it's like maybe they should have explored more of what this doctor did to Michael.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's why he targeted the doctor first.
Right.
As opposed to the granddaughter, because like maybe the doctor did shock therapy on him. Maybe. Or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about that too much. I was more like, how did he put on the mask without anyone seeing him? Remember, the mask was like right beside them.
Yeah.
And then she's like telling, he told me something. He said a word. And the doctor was like, what did he say?
Yeah.
And then like suddenly we cut to a shot of like the mask gone, and he has it on, and I'm like, how did they not see him putting it on?
Well, I think that Michael Myers also has a secret power where like he's silent. No, he's just like silent. Like he's silent. Which you see, like, in every movie, you're how does this guy move around and nobody notices, like...
What I also didn't like were, like, so many stupid decisions. So, like, one was, like I said, the dumb granddaughter fucking running into the woods.
Yeah.
And that shot of her, like, running into the mannequins, I was like, what the fuck was about? There's a lot of, like, pointless shots where I'm like, huh?
Well, if you... Okay... In her defense, if you had already witnessed your friend...
But she was on a road and... I'm sorry, but like you... So there was another cop car where the compound is and she's not far from it. And they could see the cop car.
Yeah.
Like where they were.
Oh, right.
And I'm sure she saw that. Another thing I didn't like was... another thing I didn't like was... there wasn't any, aside from Laurie, maybe the daughter, maybe the granddaughter.
Yeah.
Everyone else just there was no dimension to them.
But I was literally about to get into that.
Okay.
Because I think that at the end of the day, it was about the three women.
Yeah.
Like the whole movie is about the three women and their three storylines. So Laurie is the first victim who's been grappling with this her whole life and has sort of like been preparing and hasn't put this one moment of trauma away. Her daughter had to deal with the bullshit of her mother.
Yeah.
And is still to this day, her whole life is built around how she can navigate her complicated relationship with her mother. And yet she doesn't really want to come to terms with what her mother has been saying to be true. And then she's forced to realize that, oh, fuck, my mother's been preparing me for this whole time.
Yeah.
So that completely flips her paradigm. And then the third is the youngest daughter who only knows the stories and legend, but she didn't grow up with Laurie. She only had her mom and their fucked up relationship. So she only kind of knew the legacy of their story, but wasn't really affected by it. And it's watching her kind of like, it's her natural instincts that get through it. And it's like, are they natural instincts because she is her grandmother's daughter?
She gets attacked.
So it's like, it's amazing because you see all the different it is a generational story, and you get to see.
No, that's remember the daughter was like, or the actress who plays a daughter.
Yeah.
At the intro, she's like, yeah, I love the idea of 3 generations of women.
Yeah.
Surviving this trauma.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know it was like about the granddaughter.
Yeah. So to me, that was a way to make this story way more complex and give it a lot more dimension. Yeah. That it elevates it from your average. That's how this is better. It's like, yes, it's a remake. Yes, it's a sequel. But like, how do you make it more 2018? Is you make it deeper and you take it more seriously.
Yeah. So, on that note, what I liked. So let's go on to what we liked.
Yeah.
So, you said the 2018 thing.
Yeah.
What I really loved about it was it still felt like a very 1970s movie. Like, it felt so close to the original.
Yeah.
In terms of style, they didn't show. Aside from like the cell phone, the cameras, they didn't show a lot of like technology. It just felt very 1970s still.
Yeah.
It just didn't have that slick look to it.
Yeah.
maybe it was because a lot of it was like in the forest. I don't know. Right. I loved the composition of shots.
Yeah.
How they shot it was beautiful. Like so many good wide shots of Michael hiding in the dark or like something in the background. Like so many of them, I kind of want to buy the DVD, the Blu-ray, just to get those shots. Like there's one specific shot where Michael is looking down and the camera's like looking up at him, and it's just the lights of the sirens, and it's just so composed well where I'm like, that's gonna be a fucking Facebook header photo because it was just so great.
Yeah.
What was your favorite kill?
The backyard one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mine was the doctor.
Oh, where he just like steps on his head.
So how, if anyone wants to really know, apparently on Reddit, everyone wants to know.
Yeah.
The doctor, Michael obviously gets his mask back, and this is where we're like, why does he kill the doctor first? But the doctor's like lying on the ground, and Michael just fucking steps on his head and pulverizes his head. And it was just like such an you don't even, it's not even graphic. You just sort of just see like, you know, it gets
it's graphic afterwards when you
crushed.
Just see like the smush.
Everything is graphic afterwards. You don't see really him killing, but once you see like how he did it, it's kind of graphic.
Yeah.
Like him removing someone's jaw, the gate one. How did the boyfriend die from?
He had a knife. He stuck him to the wall
with the neck and through the neck, right?
Yeah, but you could see it where when we were watching the first one again, it made no sense that he was held up with the knife because the knife was only deep enough to be in his body. Yeah. Where this is like the knife is jammed through the guy's throat into the wall.
Yeah.
So physics matter in this movie.
So another thing that I really liked was that the men were fucking useless.
All useless.
Someone tweeted it and said, "A feminist's dream. This movie, all the men are fucking useless, and all the women are badass."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like, the father dies. The cop
dies. The doctor dies. The best.
Oh yeah, wait. What the fuck happened? Never see anything. So that's also one of the things. Someone wanted the boyfriend to die to get his comeuppance, but they didn't have it. So what do you think they cut out? What do you think they reshot?
Well, you're saying it's the doctor stuff, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Now what I thought is that they redid the ending. That's what I heard.
Well, I please Blumhouse, if you're listening to this, please put it on the DVD extra.
Let us know.
Because we really would like to know like what happened.
I think I really enjoyed it. I think it was the perfect bookend to the first one.
Like what I was saying to another friend was, this is a true sequel to the original, both in terms of the story, the style, how Michael Myers was portrayed, like everything. I would have been like, oh, John Carpenter directed this.
Right.
Aside from like obviously the humor and like some of the writing, but like John Carpenter definitely, if they said he directed this, I said, yep, this is his style.
Yeah, and if you think about...
one of the things too was like they added the breathing back in.
Oh.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments where I was like, oh, he's like breathing through the mask and they added it.
Yeah. They, you know, to your point, like, if you looked at every sequel, this is the closest to the original.
Yeah, I think, like, H2O was more tongue-in-cheek.
Well, H2O was the 90s.
Yeah.
It was of the, like you said, it was of the Scream. I know, it was of that mid-late 90s CW years.
Like,
right down to fucking... You know,
Michelle Williams.
Yeah, Jen from Dawson's Creek. Like, you couldn't get more, you know, WB slasher, 90s slasher, which is fine.
Obviously, we're not going to talk about Resurrection.
So one of the conversations that I was having was, if they've left it open for a sequel, what would the sequel be?
I think it would focus on the granddaughter.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is a beloved franchise.
Right.
No one would fucking care about the granddaughter.
No.
But like, as you said, like, where would it go? Like,
I don't know.
Is he still gonna go try and find Lori?
Like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what is... but because then at that point, if they do make a sequel, then you're making a supernatural movie.
Yeah.
Because he was...
Because, okay, for this one, I realized how he could have escaped. Maybe, like, the floor, like, got caught on fire and crashed down, and he managed to get out of it.
Like, yeah, but he would be on fire and burnt to a crisp. Like, a whole house would...
Well, that's where I was like, okay, is the house going to explode? Because then that would be like, okay, he's dead.
Nah.
So I can understand how he might have gone away, but again, I don't know where it would have gone.
I don't know. I don't know either. That's why, you know, I'm already against them doing a sequel, but they're inevitably going to make one. Yeah, and it's going to be completely useless.
And that's where I was like, maybe the daughter's going to be the new Michael Myers because, like, of that weird focus on the knife at the end.
No.
But, yeah, go see it.
Yeah.
Trust us if you want. If you've come along this far, then obviously you know what the whole movie's about.
Watch the first one before you go.
Yeah, I should have done that, but I mean, it's fresh in my mind. But yeah, it's really great. Bye. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Bye.